since I was 9. That was like 50 some years ago. The violin is really the instrument that speaks from my soul. But it wasn't my first choice. Yes, I was desperate to play an instrument when I was 9. I went to my mother and I said, "Mom, I want to play the trumpet." She frowned, shook her head. She was thinking, he's going to get up at 6 a.m. and play the what? I don't think so. She said, "We have a violin under the bed. You either play that or you don't play anything." I knew she was trying to discourage me, but I got that violin out anyway. It was a big instrument for me. I was small, but I was determined. And the violin became my refuge as a young boy. When I started taking lessons and practicing, I could go in my room and shut the door and be away from all that turmoil, the chaos, the confusion, the anger, the upset of the family. I could be in my room alone with the violin, practicing. And the violin, the music, watered my imagination like water does to a plant. My imagination grew and grew and grew. And by the time I was a teenager, I had a dream. A dream of playing the violin and making a living playing music. So when I got a scholarship, a music scholarship to Arizona State University, I was thrilled until I got to college. My counselor says, "Oh, no, we don't want you to play the violin. We want you to be a school teacher." Well, there's nothing wrong with being a school teacher. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my teachers. But I had dreamed about growing up to be a school teacher. You see, I dreamed about growing up to be a violinist, playing my music for people like you. So what I heard him say was, "Arvel, you're not good enough. Only the top 5% can ever go on to be full-time professional violinists, and you're just not good enough." Well, there was no plan B. There was no backup plan. If I'm not good enough to play the violin, then what am I going to do? I was distraught. I was depressed. For 2 years, I struggled to find something else I could do with my life. Finally, out of anger and frustration, I went and asked 3 of my professors where they would go if they were going to study privately that summer with somebody. And 2 out of 3 said, "I'd go to Illinois and study with Dr. Paul Roland, a Hungarian master violinist, a teacher of teachers." So that's what I did. At the end of that second year, I put everything I owned into my Chevy Nova, which wasn't very much. I drove to Scottsdale and said goodbye to my parents and tearfully left for the East. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I was going to become a professional violinist. I was reinventing myself. Who here has not reinvented themselves? See, everybody. From time to time, we need to reinvent ourselves. Of course, when we do, we lose a lot of friends. But that's just so we can make a lot more new friends. I was taking a leap of faith. And through all of my life, through all of the music, through all of the changes that I've been through, the transformations, the reinventing, the red-tailed hawk has always been there for me. I want you to listen to the healing music of the red-tailed hawk. And if you aren't a believer that music can heal, I want to hear what you say afterwards. Close your eyes now. Pretend you're a juvenile red-tailed hawk. You're sitting on the edge of the nest. You've never flown before, but you've seen your parents come and go. You know it's possible. But in order for you to fly, you must spread your wings and let go and fall forward into nothing, into the air. Letting the wind of the Creator, the universe, the source, God, lift you and support you. Don't be afraid. You can take a leap of faith too. Have you ever seen small birds chase and attack a hawk? Think of it as a lesson. They're showing us that when other people bully us by saying things like, you can't do that, you're not good enough, remember their words aren't true unless we believe them. So don't let people with small minds try to tear you down. Fly higher like the hawk.